Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another relaxing episode of Beginner's English Storytime, the podcast where learning English feels easy, fun, and useful in your daily life. I'm Emily, your English guide and friendly teacher, and today we're doing something we all love, getting coffee. But before we start, if you're enjoying these episodes, make sure to subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Let's all learn together. Now, today's episode is super practical. We'll take you inside a coffee shop and show you how to speak like a native. You'll learn how to greet the staff, how to order your favorite drink confidently, and how to make small talk while you wait. Everything is beginner-friendly and full of real-life English. And guess who's here with me again?
Hey everyone, it's David here, your learning buddy and fellow English learner. I've got to say, I'm really excited for today's topic, but also a little nervous. Ordering coffee in English sounds easy, but when I'm actually standing in line at a cafe, my brain kind of freezes. I forget the words, I panic a little, and then I end up just pointing at something on the menu. But I really want to learn how to sound natural, polite, and confident when ordering. And of course, I want to understand what the barista is saying too. So Emily, please guide me through this. Let's pretend we're walking into a cafe right now. What should I expect when I open the door and walk up to the counter?
Great! Let's imagine we've just stepped inside. The door makes a soft bell sound as it opens, and the smell of fresh coffee and warm pastries fills the air. A barista smiles at you from behind the counter. The first thing they usually say is something friendly like, "Hi there, what can I get started for you today?" Or maybe, "Hey, what would you like?" These are common greetings in coffee shops, especially in the US and Canada. They're casual and friendly, and they mean, "What do you want to order?" It's your cue to speak up with your choice. And don't worry, no one expects you to be perfect. Just be polite and speak slowly. Now you can answer in a few different ways. You could say, "Hi, I'd like a small cappuccino, please." Or, "Can I get an iced latte with oat milk?" Or even, "I'll have a black coffee, thank you." They all sound natural. The main thing is to say what you want clearly and use one of these polite phrases. "I'd like," "Can I get," or "I'll have."
Okay, I'm starting to get it now. So when the barista says, "What can I get for you today?" I don't need to panic. I could just take a breath and say something simple and clear, like, "Hi, I'd like a latte, please." That actually sounds easy. And it's good to know that I have a few different ways to say it. I like how "can I get" sounds. It feels natural and friendly, like something I've heard in movies or TV shows. So let me try it out loud. Can I get a small hot latte with oat milk, please? Does that sound okay?
Perfect, David. You've got the tone just right. Polite, confident, and very natural. That's exactly how a native speaker would order. I love that you added details too. Small, hot oat milk, that's great practice. Giving more details helps the barista understand your preferences and gets you exactly what you want. Just remember, you don't need to rush. It's okay to take a second to think. And if you ever forget a word, you can point or say something like, "I don't remember the name, but I want the cold one with milk." They'll usually help you out.
That's a good tip. I used to think that if I didn't say everything perfectly, I would sound silly or people wouldn't understand me. But now I see that even native speakers sometimes pause, think, or ask questions. It's more about communicating clearly, not being perfect. Okay, I feel a lot better now. I think I'm ready to walk into a cafe and give it a try. But what happens after I place my order? Do they usually ask anything else?
Yes, they often do. But don't worry, we'll cover that in the next part of the episode. For now, take a deep breath and give yourself a high five. You've just learned the basics of ordering at a coffee shop like a native speaker. Let me act as barista. Hi there, welcome in. What can I get started for you today?
Hi. Yes, I'd like to order a coffee, please. Actually, wait, let me try that again more clearly. Can I get a small latte, please? Yeah, that sounds better. I've been practicing. Oh, and I'd like it hot, please, not iced. It's a bit cold today, and I really need something warm.
Of course! A small hot latte. Got it. Now, we have a few milk options. Would you like regular milk or something different? We also have oat milk, almond milk, and soy milk.
Thoughtful. Good question. I'm trying to drink less dairy, so I think I'll try oat milk. I've heard it tastes really creamy and works well with coffee. So, yes, oat milk, please.
Great choice! Oat milk is very popular these days. It makes lattes extra smooth. Now, would you like anything to eat with that? We have a fresh selection of pastries, muffins, and cookies.
Oh, that's tempting. Do you have any muffins today?
Yes, we do. Today we have blueberry, banana nut, and chocolate chip.
That's a tough choice. They all sound delicious. But I think I'll go with the chocolate chip muffin, please. I haven't had one of those in a while, and it sounds perfect with coffee.
Absolutely. So to confirm, one small hot latte with oat milk and one chocolate chip muffin. Your total comes to $6.50.
All right, here you go. And thank you for being so patient. I'm still learning English, but I'm trying to improve every day.
You're doing wonderfully. It's great that you're practicing, and you were very clear. Your order will be ready in just a few minutes. I'll call your name when it's ready. Okay. Now, back to normal. Wow, David, you handled that so well. You used full, polite sentences, gave details, and even made a little small talk. That's exactly how real conversations happen in coffee shops.
Thanks, Emily. I feel much more confident now. It's funny, when you break it down like that, the whole thing seems a lot easier. But I do have a few questions.
Of course. What would you like to ask?
Well, when the barista asked, "What can I get started for you?" that sounded a bit long. Is that the same as saying, "What would you like?"
Yes, exactly. It's just a friendly and slightly more casual way of saying the same thing. Baristas often use this kind of warm language to make customers feel welcome. You don't need to repeat the whole phrase. Just answer with your order, like you did. Can I get a latte, please? That's totally fine.
And what if I didn't understand one of the milk options? Like, if I've never heard of almond milk before.
That's a great point. You can always ask, "Sorry, what kind of milk do you have?" Or even, "What's the difference between oat milk and almond milk?" Don't be afraid to ask. People in cafes are usually very helpful, especially when they see you're learning.
Okay, I'll remember that. And if I don't want anything to eat, I can just say, "No, thank you," right?
Exactly! Short, polite responses are perfect. "No, I'm good, thanks," or "Not today, thank you." It's totally okay to say no. But hey, that muffin sounded really good, didn't it?
It really did. I might start coming to cafes just for the muffins. All right, Emily, so I've placed my order, paid, and now I'm waiting for my coffee. This is the part that always feels a little awkward for me. I'm never sure what to do or say while I'm standing there. Sometimes I look at my phone, but I feel like maybe I should make small talk, or at least say something polite to the people around me or the barista. But honestly, I never know what to say in English without sounding strange. What do people usually talk about when they're waiting for their drinks? Are there some easy phrases or topics I can use so I don't just stand there silently or look nervous?
That's such a good question, David, and you're definitely not the only one who feels that way. A lot of people, even native speakers, sometimes feel awkward waiting at the counter. But don't worry, there are lots of simple things you can say to fill that moment and sound friendly. For example, you can comment on the weather, because everyone likes talking about it. You could say something like, "It's so cold out today, isn't it?" Or, "It's a perfect day for a hot coffee." You can also compliment the shop by saying, "This place smells amazing," or, "I really like the music here." And if you want to make conversation with the barista, you can ask, "Have you been busy today?" Or, "What's your favorite drink on the menu?" These are short, friendly sentences that are easy to practice and make you sound confident.
Wow, that helps a lot. I always thought small talk had to be complicated, but those examples sound really natural and not too long. Let me see if I can practice some. If I were standing there, maybe I'd look around and say to the barista, "It smells really good in here." Or maybe I'd ask, "Is it always this busy in the morning?" And if I'm talking to another customer, maybe I'd say, "I've never been here before. Do you come here often?" Does that sound okay? Or is that too personal?
Those are fantastic examples. They sound polite, curious, and friendly. And no, they're not too personal at all. Actually, people usually appreciate it when someone makes a little conversation, especially if you're kind and respectful. Just remember, if the other person seems busy or doesn't answer much, that's okay. You can smile and look around or check your phone politely. Small talk is meant to be light and casual, so don't feel pressured to keep it going for too long. A few friendly sentences are enough. You could also say something like, "I'm just learning English, so I like to practice," and most people will be very understanding and encouraging.
That makes me feel so much better. I think I can do that. And when my drink is finally ready, what's the best way to respond? I hear people say thank you. But sometimes they say other things. Should I just keep it simple? Or is there something extra I can add to sound really polite?
Great question. The simplest and always correct thing to say is just thank you. You can say it with a smile, and that's perfect. If you want to sound a little warmer or extra friendly, you can say, "Thanks so much," or "Thank you, have a great day." These are common phrases that show politeness and positivity. If the barista says, "Enjoy your coffee," you can reply, "Thanks, you too." It's just a little moment of kindness that makes the exchange feel nice for both of you. So don't overthink it. Just pick one or two of these phrases and use them every time. It will feel more natural with practice.
Okay, I'll try to remember all of that. So when I pick up my drink, I'll smile and say, "Thank you, have a great day." That feels friendly and easy to remember. I really appreciate how you break everything down step by step, Emily. It makes me feel like learning English isn't so scary after all. I think the next time I go to a coffee shop, I'll feel much more confident.
That's exactly why we're here, David. And I'm so glad you feel more prepared now. For everyone listening, remember, it's okay to feel nervous. The most important thing is to try, to keep practicing, and to be polite. Every time you use these phrases, you'll get a little bit better and more comfortable. So be proud of yourself.
Emily, I really enjoyed this episode. I learned not just what to say when ordering coffee, but also how to make small talk and be friendly. I feel like these are skills I can use anywhere, not just in a cafe.
Absolutely. These are real-life English skills you'll use again and again. And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned something new and feel excited to practice. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment telling us how your first coffee shop conversation goes, and come back next time for more easy English lessons.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and maybe enjoy a coffee yourself. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing, and see you soon. Yes, my real story, the ups and downs, and how you can do it too.
That sounds amazing, Emily. I know a lot of our listeners really want to know how someone like you, who speaks so naturally now, started from the very beginning. It's not always easy, but hearing your story can inspire them. So, tell us, Where did it all begin?
Well, it all started when I was in middle school. I remember the very first time I tried to speak English in class. My hands were shaking. I was so nervous. I had learned a few words from textbooks, but I never practiced speaking. I was afraid of making mistakes and sounding silly. But one day, my English teacher asked me to stand up and say a sentence about my weekend. I stood up and, with a trembling voice, I said, "I go to the park." Everyone looked at me. I thought they were going to laugh, but they didn't. My teacher smiled and gently said, "Great try. Just remember, say went to the park." That moment changed everything for me. I realized that it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn.
Wow. I love that moment, Emily. It shows how just one kind word from a teacher or friend can change your mindset. And you're so right. Mistakes are not the end. They're the beginning of progress. So, after that moment, did you start practicing more?
Yes! I went home that day and told myself, I want to speak English every day. I started small. I watched short English videos with subtitles. I repeated what the speakers said. Sometimes I paused and tried to speak like them. I kept a small notebook and wrote 5 new words each day. I also began talking to myself in English. Just simple things like, I am making tea or I need to go outside. At first, I felt a little silly. But then it became fun. It was like I had a new friend in my mind who spoke English with me.
That's so smart, Emily, and such great advice. Talking to yourself in English is a great way to build confidence. It's free, it's easy, and you don't need anyone else. So many of our listeners can try that today. What happened next? Did you ever talk with real English speakers?
Oh yes, and that was another big step. I remember the first time I talked to a tourist who asked for directions in my hometown. I was so excited but also scared. I said, "Go straight and then right." The tourist smiled and said, "Thank you." That little conversation gave me so much motivation. Later, I found language exchange partners online. We would talk once a week. At first, I didn't understand everything, but little by little, it got easier. I learned to listen, ask questions, and respond naturally. And you know what? Every time I made a mistake, my partner just smiled and helped me. There was no judgment, only support.
That's amazing, Emily. And you're describing something that every learner needs to hear. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. So if someone is listening right now and feeling nervous or stuck, what would you say to them?
I'd say this. Start small, but start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment or perfect sentence. Just say one sentence in English today. Talk to yourself. Watch a short video. Write down a few new words. Celebrate the little wins. They matter. And remember, you are not alone. We all start somewhere. I made so many mistakes. I still do. But I never stopped. And neither should you.
That's beautiful, Emily. I'm sure our listeners feel encouraged and ready to take their next step.
I hope so. Actually, there's more I'd love to share. For example, how I used songs and movies to boost my vocabulary. Music helped me memorize phrases because I'd hear them over and over. I would sing along even if I didn't understand every word. Over time, I started recognizing the meaning of those lyrics.
Yes, music is such a powerful tool. I did the same. I used to write down lyrics from my favorite songs and then translate them. Sometimes I even recorded myself singing. It made learning enjoyable.
And movies helped me too. I'd watch the same movie 2 or 3 times, first with subtitles, then without. I remember watching Finding Nemo and repeating lines like, "Just keep swimming." It helped my pronunciation and made me feel connected to the language. It wasn't study, it was fun.
That's the secret. Making English part of your daily life. It doesn't have to feel like homework. It can be joyful. Did you also read books in English?
Yes, I started with children's books, simple sentences, colorful pictures. Then I moved to short stories and later novels. Reading helped me understand grammar naturally, not just rules, but how sentences feel. I would read out loud, which improved my fluency.
That's a great tip. Reading aloud builds muscle memory for speaking. You learn rhythm, stress, and tone.
Exactly. And I also kept a journal in English. Every night before bed, I wrote one paragraph about my day. Today, I went to the market. I saw a cute cat. Little by little, my writing improved, and it helped me express my thoughts more clearly.
You were really dedicated, Emily. That's inspiring. What about mistakes? Did you ever feel discouraged?
Many times. I remember once I said kitchen instead of chicken at a restaurant. The waiter laughed, but I laughed too. I learned to laugh at my mistakes. That made me stronger. I didn't give up. I kept going.
That attitude, not being afraid to fail, is so powerful. Every learner should hear this. So what's your message for those still on their journey?
You are capable. You are brave. English is not a mountain you have to climb alone. It's a road with many signs, many helpers, and beautiful views along the way. Just keep walking, one word at a time. And remember, you're already doing something amazing just by listening to this podcast.
I couldn't agree more. This episode is packed with real advice and real emotion. Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you, David. And to our wonderful listeners, we're proud of you. Subscribe, share your thoughts with us, and maybe even tell us your story. Until next time, keep learning, keep laughing, and keep believing in yourself.